That was a slow countdown. I don't think you guys got very much of it. It didn't connect quick.
I don't
Welcome,
think so.
everybody. Hi, Taylor. How you
Hi,
doing?
doing great.
It is 4 o'clock. It is Thursday, and we are here to talk to investors about stocks that you want us to take a look at. Q is already stuffed. We've got about 8 tickers already. Very last one that just came in from John Rodriguez, Rio FFF. We'll be lucky if we stretch to there, but we got no time limit here. So if it's the very last one on the board, we'll take a look at it. So let's just jump into this. I didn't have anything to share with you yet, and if I do, it'll come out as we're moving along here. There you I'm sorry. Go for it.
Hey, come
I
on.
work alone all week. I get 1 hour of having to work with someone else. So first one comes in. I do believe this is from Kashira. I was
It
looking
is.
over there.
Yep, it's from Kashira.
This is CGRA, Sea Growth Capital. Finished today at 004. Had a little bit of a drop today, about 2.5%. She's on the pink tier, the basement of the OTC. Be cautious with those pinks, folks. They're quicker to take your money than any other stock, which means you don't play with them very long. Get in, make your money, get out. The longer you hold a pink, the likely it is that pink's going to turn red hot and burn you. Pinks have caused me a lot of damage. Verified profile and transfer agent. These 2 green ticks are the best you're going to get on pinks. That's validated information. It's the only validated information you get with pinks. So what is this company about? Well, right here they tell us. The company is sector and industry agnostic and currently consists of 2 divisions, including sports technology and mining. Do you wear helmets in both? I don't know. But I did jump into one of their SEC filings, and this is what they tell us has happened over the last 12 months. List any stock splits, stock dividends, recapitalizations, mergers, acquisitions, spinoffs. So it's quick history right there, last 12 months. Acquired Savage Barbell Apparel, established CGRA Mining Inc., established CGRA Sports Inc., CGRA Mining Inc. entered into an irrevocable purchase agreement for 51% of Subterra Holdings. And the value of the mining licenses, which you're going to read in the news, they got 5 more, and then another piece of news says they got 7 more. The value of the mining license rights has not been considered in the quarterly disclosures and will be done in Q4 2023. So that should be out by now. This was the most recent financial, which is older now. And let me see what other piece of news. It is the news. This just gives you an idea of what's going on going back to August. And you can see they are playing in both sectors, sports and mining. The company's sports division expands globally and secures major European retail deal. The company secures a $1 million non-debt financing. They're keeping money coming in. The company set stage for exciting 2024 with Savage Barbell Apparel expansion. So it's not just sports. I didn't know what I was thinking when I was thinking of sports attire, but I guess they have clothing. Here's 7 of those new prospecting licenses. And up here, they tell us they got 4 more, not 5. And the company is bolstering their mining division by team expansion. They're bringing in more people to take care of everything. So they are doing a lot on both fronts right now. And that took us all the way up till today. As a matter of fact, the last piece of news, Sea Growth Capital provides update on lithium mining. Now, was there anything I needed to see in here? I think they were just telling us, there was one thing I found interesting. This mining operation is with lithium. And they tell us right here that they are working in Tanzania. To date, 24 out of 30 of the planned surface samples have been collected and forwarded to the SGS laboratory in Mwanza, Tanzania.
Wow.
Well, I just did an interview with CDSG and BRLL. They are in Tanzania with a huge load over there. And I didn't know anybody else was even in Tanzania from over here. So this was a little interesting to me. Outside of that, let's check the general information. What was her relative volume? She was up today. Nice. Over double, going from 820,000 to 2.3 million. Share structure, it's not great. 565 million total outstanding. Insiders got about 90 million of them, the management. Unrestricted shares, which I like to think of as the float, that is 475 million, almost a half a billion, if that puts it into perspective. Market cap, we're at 2.3 million. Financials for CGRA, they are making money, and they took a big jump here from 2021 to 2022, almost quadrupling what they were doing. And their profits did the same thing. Quarterly reports, well, I don't know what happened. Seems to me I see a lot of these quarterly reports. The very last quarter is super big compared to anything else. I think there's something they do at the end there because of the budgets and stuff. I don't know. But you can see they're running between 2.5 and 300,000 here, and they're bringing home profit regularly. Balance sheet, they got money in the bank, $357,000, almost $3 million in assets, $1.2 million in liabilities, and some extra positive cash got dropped in here. We've got 1.7 million positive stockholder equity. We're not holding a bag here. And I've already looked at the disclosures. If I had any more, I would have had them popped up for you. So let's just take a look now. The company's busy. There's a lot of news there. I would just say go read each one of those pieces of news. See about that deal in Europe. Check out that sporting apparel. See the management with mining. Over there in Tanzania, you want someone that has experience in Africa, somebody who has connections in Africa. You just don't want some guy stopping in for the first time trying to get things going, because there's bureaucracy over there too. All right, let's look at CGRA.
Okay, so I pulled up the 1 hour chart because I'm going to go back to that. So here's the 4 hour. The reason I pulled this up just real quick, there's a couple of areas of support, and it was really evident in the 1 hour chart too, because you see how this broke through. This was just last week. This was on the 19th. So after we broke through, it did act as support. You can see these closed right around that area. And now we're down here. Now the low of this was 0036, so that's about 10% below what it is now. So if you were to get in this, I would definitely set a stop right there if you were in it. That's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want, obviously. But I would like to see this come back up above the 0043, because I see that as kind of a good indicator of a support resistance. So I would like to see this get above that. If we drop down to the 15-minute, we can see even more. So you can see we did reach this 200, but it popped above and then came right back down. So, and then this is what's called a death cross. Okay, that's the 9 coming down below the 21 and the 50.
I did not know that had a name.
Yeah, it's like Golden Cross. It's the opposite of Golden Cross, Death Cross.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know they had a name for it. And Death Cross, you're about right, because normally I see that on the major exchanges when the 20 crosses. It's like that's it. I mean, you can count on everything falling when the 20 goes over that 200. Yeah, that's a big drop.
Yeah, so it did reach a high of about 005, and then I mean, right at that 005, that was the tippy top, and that was Thursday, January 25th. So that was today. Sorry, at 10 o'clock this morning. I'm used to looking at larger time frames. I'm like, oh, that's the 25th. Oh, wait, that's today. So that was today, and maybe that's why it was brought up today. It did reach a high. It has not seen that since like the very beginning of this month.
We could see, since she did break out of the
about 3 weeks.
The first break, you expect a couple taps through the ice before you can actually climb through. And you've got a nice support there. We've seen her dip under it and come back up once.
Yeah, I do like this level here. So this is the 5-minute.
She could be playing that out again. Another dip under that support, back up to the 200, giving it another punch, and you don't know if she breaks through that next time.
Yeah, and this is the 5-minute here, so we can look at lower time frames too. I don't just look at the daily chart. So you can see we're still kind of like not that far. I mean, it seems far, but we're that's what about 10%.
Yeah, on these prices, what looks far really isn't that
Yeah,
far.
and it also it depends on what time frame you're looking at, because if you zoom way out, it's gonna be like, whoa, how in the world did it get all the way up to $2 or whatever? So we're
Sure.
looking at just day to day. So I kind of would like to see this stay above this 0043 level, and see if we can get back. I like the 15-minute actually a little better. That looks really good.
I
So
had
it does
someone
have some
ask me, why
potential
do you
here.
pick and choose your charts? He says, it doesn't make a difference, does it? I said, not really, but the fact of the matter is you get a better perspective. It's like walking around something. There's certain perspectives that let you get more information. And if you see a price dangling in the midair, go back. Some other chart shows
Right.
you it's sitting somewhere. You just don't see it from this perspective. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
those
good to
clear
just
time
I
frames.
like to look at all the different perspectives. I usually start
Yeah.
with the daily chart and then just kinda zoom,
Yeah.
in from there. So,
Yeah.
this has some potential here. We did see I like this 15 where it broke through that 200. So I think if we can hold above this, 0043 that was identified as a support area, so now it's the resistance area. So we get above that and we have the,
Worth a
might
watch.
get a good
Everything.
yeah, get a good 10% at least out of that, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, and if it does get over the 200, you've got a nice seat for
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect timing. All right, we've got another one here, which is no stranger to us. We've talked about this once or twice or more. Well, I think we've even talked about it recently because there's nothing new I can say about it. This is Toner, Tonr. I do believe I'm pronouncing it. It's either Toner or Toner. Toner One World Holdings. Someone typed the correct pronunciation. Basically, they've got a company, a partner that they've gotten with, and they are creating this AI virtual reality trading partner. And they've given her a name now, Maddie. And I don't know all that she's going to be able to do. I don't think they know all that she's going to be able to do. That's the thing about AI. AI continues generating growth. I'm working right now with AI. This last month, I got in with an AI program and I can tell it with words what pictures I want it to make. And oh my God, I mean, you can have Elon Musk dressed as a clown playing with, and it looks real. It looks real. Or you can do black and white sketches. Anything is possible. And we're just scratching the surface right now. And this company has got a virtual assistant for traders while they're trading their stocks. Let me tell you what, folks, I could use that. I can't get enough DD done fast enough. And you know bloody well, when you're looking over here, something over there is happening. We all feel that in the morning. We got to find that play, and you can only look so many places. But if you had AI that could look at 100,000, 10,000 places at once, find what you're looking for, alert you when it found it, oh man, wouldn't that be sweet? And I'm sure we're heading there because here's a company doing it. Outside of that, there is nothing new here. We have no new filing since, what's this? Well,
Hmm.
that's a new filing. Make me a liar. That's okay. What do we got here? Other events. Company participated in a live interview via Twitter. So they did that. It doesn't say when. So that seems to be the only filing. Did any of you catch it? They came out on the 22nd. So outside of that, there is no new news. I can tell you what the volume play was today. We got triple the volume for not having any new catalyst. People are excited about this. 65 million shares jumping to 179 million shares. They making any money yet? Zippity doo dah, zippity doo dah, and oh my. They got no assets. They got no money in the bank, and they've got almost 11 million in liabilities. So, but they've got some strange numbers down here. Capital surplus, retained earnings. Somehow, without any assets, none, without any money, and $10 million in liability, this company has positive shareholder equity of almost $11 million. Some more research needs to be done there. I'm presuming these numbers are right. Right in this area is where it all changed. That's surprising right there. I like that. Let's see what else we got here. I don't think there is anything else here to look at. No, that pretty much does it. The company does do a lot of other things, but of course, once you get into AI, that becomes your primary focus right now. And when you start seeing AI grow as fast as it grows, I mean, it is incredible how fast. You're talking months. In months, you can have something that was 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times faster, stronger, bigger, better, and smarter than it was 3 months ago. Just that quick. So let's check out the chart for Toner.
Okay, so these are the dates that we've looked at this, and these arrows just are pointing to those days. So that's the only thing I drew was this arrow. So all these lines have already been in place, which is hilarious considering after we looked at it, it did go up to the 001. We finally got to the 00. That was the high of Monday. So that was this past Monday, just on Monday.
Sweet.
So that was awesome. So we have been watching this for a while. The interesting thing about this one, I just love, love or hate, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So since like early April, late March until late November, this thing was just in between 0001 and 0002, which is crazy. Then we jumped up here from like the end of November until about January 16th or so. We were in this 002 to 003, and then it started to run. We looked at it this day, I believe. I'm not sure if we got to it, but I definitely looked at it because someone brought it up last week. So we did see this climbing. I didn't mark off every single one, but I did mark off the 001, and it did reach that. So it reached that at one point and then started selling off. Now we're right in the middle. I think we're at 00 or 0007 now. I'm not
That's
sure where
good.
this closes. So we're still like, this does not look bad. So let's drop it down to like the 1 hour. See
Oh
what we're
no,
doing.
compared to the last how long, this looks great. It's woke
Yeah,
up, it's out of bed,
definitely.
walking
Yeah,
around.
that's why I like to look at the history. So like now we're into January. This is just January. This is this past month. So this is like
Yeah.
from Friday on. So we've just kind of been bouncing up and out. It did hit this Monday morning. So that's when that happened. And these candles are a little bit, kind of wonky, as you can see. They don't have big bodies. A lot of these don't. They're just, here, like little dojis here. So let's drop it down to the 15-minute and see what we're looking at. So it's kind of getting barcodey when you get to this level. As you can see, it's kind of
It's
like
making
it's either.
sense though. It's doing like any chart
Mhm,
would. It
mhm.
rose way above the 200. It's coming
Yep,
down. It lifted it up, and now it's settled on it at a much higher place.
correct.
It's a beautiful move, and it is looking like with the momentum it has a likelihood of going up. It doesn't look bad at all for barcodes.
Oh, definitely not. And also note,
that that
just
looks
going back
real
to the
good.
daily real quick. This past week, I would say,
Wow.
yeah, just this past week, look at this volume. Outstanding. I mean, even today, it's just as much as it was a couple days ago. I mean, that's pretty good. The volume is falling a little bit, but it's still like quite a bit of volume compared to what it has been. You can just see it right there. See that first jump and then this. So I just now noticed that. I was looking at my own screen. So yeah, this is still looking great. We
Yeah.
looked at this a couple of different times and it was still doing that same thing. And if you got in between, even if you got in at 0003, that's amazing. I mean, that's more than 100% gain right there because now we're at 0007. Even if you didn't sell up here, hopefully you were selling on the way up. That's what I would do personally.
Scaling out. Yep. A little bit. Take some profit, minimize your risk.
Yeah, take some profits there. I think that's what happened. That's like, it
But it's
did.
all predictable. It looks exactly what you would expect. That's a nice setup there. She's laying on
It
that
is.
50. Nice.
This is
Yeah,
a really nice setup.
it's worth for a 000 stock. This is one worthy of putting on your watch list. Absolutely. And obviously, more news is going to come out about Maddie, and that's going to get this thing
Yeah,
running because there's no one else who has a trader assistant using AI. There's no competition. So I like it.
I like it too. Good one. Okay.
Another stock nobody's stranger to, ISSA. We've looked at this numerous times off and on. I think last week we didn't even get a chance to look at it, but I think I made a comment about it. We're in the same boat with ISSA. There is no updates. We don't have any new news. We don't have any new financials, filings, or anything like that. She finished the day at just over 2.5 cents with 25% gains without any fresh catalysts. She's on the pink tier and current, and she does have those pieces of validated information. Why is my page so freaking big?
Huh?
So this company's catalyst right now, they've got a couple things that they are involved with. First off, the company just purchased this company, SAML, Samsara Luggage. They purchased the company as a vehicle, as a shell that they could put their company into and then launch it into space and land it on planet NASDAQ. Once it gets up there, it has been spun out. We get dividend shares for that. That is emergency response technologies that they are spinning out. Now, there are some more steps involved. They got the shell. They're going to put assets into the company. ISSA has a bunch of assets. They're just not spinning out the company, but they're going to prime it up as well. The other one is they are spinning out a QIND, QIND. And I don't think it's hit the market yet. I haven't checked. But they tell us here that this too is a company that's doing something. They're not just sitting around waiting to get on the market and then start working. They tell us they already have a purchase order for $73 million from a company on the NASDAQ. So that's all great news. We're just waiting for these things to happen, and you can't second guess when that's going to be. It's not that the company hasn't filed the paperwork. There's news here saying we put in amended S1. Everything's been done. We are just waiting right now. And because we've been waiting for so long, that can be a stimulus to the market. People start to anticipate that something's bound to happen here soon. It's been so long, it's got to be ready now. And if the price was low, it could be a good time to get in, and that can start the price moving. And then, of course, if the chart sets up for a breakout, even without a catalyst, a hot chart will move. So let's get some general information on what's going on. Relative volume around the company almost quadrupled today, going from 10.5 million to just under 40 million. Share structure for the company is big. They've got 1.7 million shares on the outstanding. 183 million the insiders own. That's a nice number, but compared to our 1.5 billion on the float, it's not very much. Market cap for the company, about 37 million right now. Financials. Well, we're always impressed when we come to this page. How can you not be? That's a huge, like 7 times jump, 700% increase year over year. Let's take a look at the trailing 12 months, 102. So what do we have? Oh, look at that. We have 78 at the end of 2022. And if you add up, it's not what's going to show up on their annuals, but the trailing 12 months, we're at 102 million right there. So yeah, their revenues are growing right now, believe it or not. Even though they're not at the highest numbers, they are bringing in profit regularly. Balance sheet, they got 1.5 million cash and cash equivalents. Just think of that as their bank account. Total assets, $267 million. I remember when this company came on the market, coming off the expert market with Karen Courier's help. They didn't have any of this then, not at all. Total liabilities, 235. So we've got some equity here, 32 million in positive stockholder equity. That's great. Outside of that, there is nothing here. I mean, I'll show
John,
you.
are you sure there was nothing this last week, like Friday the 19th? Nothing?
The 19th. No.
Like just this past Friday.
No, we had an investor come in on the 9th, but no, that's not even that. That was the purchase of Illustrato buying the shares of Samuel. No, I don't see anything here since. There's been nothing here updated. The 19th.
Okay. Well, wait till you see this chart. That's why you'll know why I'm asking.
We'll take one more gander over here. That's 2023. See, they have no news over here. Now, I'll tell you what. You go ahead and show us the chart. I'm going to look around in other places, see if I can find something for the 19th.
Okay, yeah, around that date. Oops. I always do that. Okay, so here's the daily chart. As you can see, this is pretty insane. We came from like the basement here around 0.005-ish. Now we're at 0.0269. That's a huge, what percentage is that, John?
Oh, I wasn't even looking, but I see the chart now and I do want to look. I want to see what you got up
Yeah.
there.
So this is
Holy
daily,
cow.
yeah. So this was like Wednesday the 10th. I mean, it opened at 0054.
Uh-huh.
Today we've reached a high of 0.027.
500%.
Yeah,
Wow.
269, whatever.
Without
That's,
it. No, there's got to be something out
I mean,
there.
yeah, this is crazy because look at all of these curling up and look at the just blew right past it. It opened up right here. Today it opened well above the 200, came down and touched it and has just flying. So here's Golden Cross one, here's another one, there's another one.
No,
Man,
the
that's
last piece of
amazing.
information, even
Oh
on
my
Google,
gosh.
was the 11th. We have nothing since the 11th on Google, on OTC, on press release, filings. So it launched because investors decided it was worth something or something because there's nothing out there. That is impressive.
Yeah, this is the 1 hour chart. So this is just the past week. So you can see what has happened. So this is around 007. We came up to here and kind of hit a little bit of and went sideways for a few days, about point 0, almost 0.02, like 0.019. And then this was yesterday. I guess this was after hours or something, maybe. Oh no, not quite. So it's just been jumping, and then it's like bull flag, bull flag. Here we go. I
Wow.
mean, it's just been climbing like crazy. We'll drop it down to 15-minute. Oh my gosh. So most of the volume from today, look at this. It's just so pre-market. I don't even know if they have pre-market hours. So this is at open. It was just doji.
Um, this is
And
OTC,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
it just climbed, and it has just kept continuing up until the end of the day. That is just wild to me.
And
Something had to have happened. This doesn't.
first off, it is undervalued. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was a bad one, but it's the truth. It's
It is
running.
the truth. Oh
ISSA
my
I've
gosh.
always liked. I seen her come on. It's like a grandbaby to me or something. I seen her come from nothing, really work hard, expand her business, buy up all these subsidiaries. Now she's spinning out successful businesses. This is exactly the kind of company you want to be invested in. You keep getting free shares. They keep
My
adding more
gosh.
value. And this market has beat them down badly. They haven't done anything wrong. They need to start coming back. So this isn't, I mean, I'm not surprised to see it. I'm happy to see this. It needs to climb. Wow, that is
This
sweet.
1 hour chart is crazy. I turned on the Heikenashis, by the way. That wasn't even Heikenashi chart. This is the Heikenashi chart.
I thought my chart looked better than yours.
So, I mean, this is wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went sideways for a few days today. It
And you
just
can tell it
ripped.
just went sideways because it got way too far away from the 20. So it just
Yeah.
went, it waited for the 20 to come to it rather than dropping all the way to the 20. That's a strong price. And as soon as the 20 got there, tagged it, boink. So this is looking good. All the SMAs are starting to turn up. Volume has gotten stronger and stronger. She's
That's
showing
like a
signs,
60% gain right there, even from yesterday.
it can only go so far. I mean, you've got to look at value. You've got to look at a lot of factors. But again, she's undervalued. What she's worth right now, I don't really know. I like to take all the shares and divide it into the stockholder equity. That at least gives me a real value per share, what the company's worth for the stockholder, not taking into effect anything else. Yeah, I like Eyeless. It's nice to see her breaking out. She's hitting
Yeah.
that 200 right now. Definitely one to put on your watch list. And they've got catalysts. We're waiting for a spin out for free shares. And if you didn't get into it, all these people running right now are excited because they know these deals are going to be closing. It's not if and or but. This company does what they say they're going to do. Thank God. So this is really looking healthy.
Yep. Okay.
Great. That'd be my cue. We need a ding, a little green light like they
Oh,
have on cameras.
ding.
Where are we at here? No, we looked at Eyeless. We are going to take a look at Bleg. Bleg was a request from Twitter or I don't know, somewhere else. I got Bleg, which
Okay.
Bleg had a good day. This is Branded Legacy, ticker BLEG, finished today just under 003. Ooh, was up almost 64% today. She too is on the pink, got that validated information, and they've listed independent directors here. Now, this you can take serious. When you list independent directors here, you are telling the OTC markets and everybody behind them, we are serious about uplisting. We have our independent directors, we're looking at it. And somewhere in the filings, you'll normally find it mentioned. So I like to see that. All right, where are we going to start here? How about with the news? The company has been doing
this before.
Yes, we have, because they
trying to figure out. Oh, okay, got it. We looked at this on December 7th.
Right, that sounds about right, because they eliminate, yeah, right there, December 7th. And it's still growing because they just keep doing more stuff to give shareholder value. And this is another company you want to watch. They have signed a letter of intent to acquire $6 million in assets and an additional facility space. They bought back 1 million preferred Class D shares. They expanded their portfolio with the acquisition of Mary J. Pharmaceuticals Inc. with all the licenses. You need licenses if you're going to deal with marijuana, and they're expensive. Retired 400 million common shares, achieving their target of 2 billion share reduction. Then they went and did another 442 million shares on top of the 2 billion. Successfully closes an acquisition of All Extracts. The company works with CBDs and a lot of other things. The company announces reduction in the authorized share count, how many shares they have to put on the market. They've cut that way down to 900 million. And now they just had news come out today. They have reduced their debt by 1.5 million. Every single thing I read there, that is directly affecting me and you as investors. That is, yeah, it's helping the company, but directly affecting the shareholders because it's giving us more value. Fewer shares means bigger pieces of pie, less debt, more value per share. So this is really outstanding information here. Let's take a look at the relative volume of the company today. Nice jump. We got about 550% jump in our volume from 12 million to 70 million. Share structure, average. We got 512 million outstanding. Insiders own 112 million. We get 400 million in the float. And they don't even have a million for the market cap. They're just under a million. Financials for Bleg. They're making money. They're not getting anywhere fast, ups and downs, but they're making profits, 142,000 at the end of 2022. Quarterlies, well, again, they're not doing a whole lot of business here. The revenues, though, that's going to help the company. The revenues don't really help us. Everything we just read in the news, all of that helped us. So I'm feeling good, even though I'm not seeing any great numbers here right now. Nothing in the bank. Thank God I don't have to wait for a paycheck from them. Total assets is only $200,000. Total liabilities, 1.5 million. So we are holding a wee bit of a bag here, 1.3 million. Let's see what we got for disclosures. Did I have time to check these out? Reduced authorized shares to 900 million. Pharmaceutical acquisition, reduced authorized share count. I'm telling you, this is juicy stuff. No, I don't see anything extra here right now. Now, Bleg has 3 subsidiaries, and they make snacks. I do think they make apparels, maybe. I know they make supplements. So the company's got products, and they are expanding right now. And obviously, all of this news has an effect. I haven't looked at the chart here recently, believe it or not, but today was a hot day, almost 64%. Let's take a look at that chart.
Sure. So the only reason this arrow's here is just to point out the day that we looked at it. I don't know. I always like to look at, like, here's when it was last brought up, because it did have that run back in like late November. I think this circle was already there. All of these lines were already there. The only thing I did was make an arrow. So we've looked at this before. I circled this area, obviously, I'm guessing because of all these golden crosses and how it was jumping up and touching this 200. So we did that again today. So we did have a big increase in volume, like he said. And it looks pretty familiar. This big jump. The 200 is coming down. We might have a chance to get above it if we'd have a repeat of all this. This looks really nice. Was
It
there
is. It's
is
setting
the
up.
Yeah, it is setting up.
I mean,
Is this
the bottom line is when the price can finally hit the 200 and the 200 is falling, all we're waiting for is that 200 to go flat.
mhm.
And that's a perfect spot to jump up on. And that's what we're looking at. It looks like it's setting up for the jump. And you don't
Yeah.
want to be there after the jump. You do want to be there before, but not too soon. That's why we have watch lists. You
Yeah.
watch it. Put an alert on your chart. A lot of these, I think every chart has a way to put an alert. Find how to do it. Find these zones that you want to be alerted in. Man, if it gets right there, that's the time I want to be watching, because if it goes over, that's when I'm getting in. So play these on your watch list with alerts.
I like this one for a watch list, definitely. I like this area that this 0017 kind of bounced off of it a couple times. Once it lost it, it just kept tapping until it finally broke through again. Bounced off of it, retested, and now we're back above it. I like that a lot. So that's good to see. Kind of looks like a descending wedge here. So this breakout was.
And I think you're just crusting over. If you were using a Fibonacci on that huge run, I think you're over the 50% mark now with today's price, which is
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking she is in the stronger zone now for the likelihood of continuing growth. I like that chart. That shows some potential. I'd be careful. Just don't jump in because we like it. You've got to look for your dips to get in on before they bounce. You never know how low they can dip. Oh, even your oscillators are looking juicy.
Yeah, I calibrated them.
Did you? Thank you so much.
A little bit.
I like oscillators.
I fixed them a little bit. Okay, ding.
Oh, that's my cue. Oh, I heard the ding. I just wasn't used
to it.
I'm still getting trained. Pavlon took a while. So will I. So we are looking at KZIA.
From Jerome.
Thank you, Jerome. I told Taylor when I was putting this one in, we got to make sure we get to this one. I keep stepping on Jerome's toes, and I really don't mean to do that, Jerome. So this is one I have not heard of before. This is KZIA Therapeutics. Finished today at almost 37 cents, up a little bit, about 6%. And she's on the major exchange, the NASDAQ, where penny stock trading is easier because you don't have to pay to get in. You don't have to pay to get out. Transactions are free up there. You can trade pre-market, aftermarket. You can see OTC stocks running pre-market sometimes, but it isn't me and you who are able to trade them. It's other people making money. Now we can make money in those periods. And let's face it, folks, there's a lot more volume and money up on the major exchanges. And they're monitored a lot better than the OTC. You don't get your butt burned as often up there. I'm not saying you don't get burned, just not as often. So what have we got here? What do we got here? Well, doesn't look like I have anything lined up for some reason. I wonder why that is. All right, let's start off here with the news. See what we've got current. Kazuya continues board renewal with 2 new appointments. I did have one here. Where did it go? It's missing. Yeah, I was looking at all of her filings. They've appointed a bunch of new people. Most of their filings are about changes in management. Kazi Therapeutic files to sell 591,000 ADSs for holders. First thing, it doesn't make a huge difference, but some people want to know, this is not a stock. Don't get scared. It's an equivalent to a stock. It's called an ADS. This is an American Deposit Registry. It means that the shares are being held in a bank. And the reason they do that, if we go over here to company profile, Australia. This is normally with companies that have no headquarters in America. Their headquarters are in foreign countries, and it's just easier to get their shares onto the public market by a bank holding the shares rather than wherever they are normally being held. And ADSs have equivalents. This one ADS is equivalent to 10 shares. So right now, the shares of the stock are probably close to 3.5 cents. But because this ADS has 10 of them, we're up here at 36 cents. Now, normally you can find the share somewhere, and it's probably over on the Australian market, which is why we have the ADSs. Let me see. We'll go through each button here to make sure I don't miss anything. Holy cow, look at the volume jump there. My God, going from 96,000, let's just call it 100,000 to 2.6 million. That's 26 times her volume. 26 times, folks. And I haven't seen the catalyst yet. Share structure. We've got a decent share structure, 22, 23 million in the outstanding. Float, how many shares are on the market? I don't know, but it's never higher than the outstanding. So it won't be more than 22 million, and it could be considerably less. Market cap, we're down there at 750 million roughly. Financials for Kazia. Ooh, $1 in the bank. Got to keep it open. That's not a buck. We got to add 3 zeros to any of the numbers on these boards. So they actually got $1,000 in there, which is probably the minimum for a business account. What happened here? Where there? Hold on, what the goes here? Income, balance sheet. Let me get to the right buttons here. Cash and cash equivalents. That looks a lot better than 1,000, don't it? 3.4 million in the bank. 18.5 million in assets. Ooh, about 1/3 of that is liabilities. So the company is in positive equity area, about $8 million. So let's see if we can get a catalyst here. Obviously, she didn't run too high, but she could have taken a big fall and had a huge recovery. You never can tell because that was a lot of volume increase today. So we have the appointments. That was on the 18th. That last piece of news was over a month ago. And we have nothing downstairs. Let me check the other room. I'm sure these 6Ks are about the management. Appointment of a chairman. Yes, yes. And this one was principal accounting officer and financial officer. And this one, we don't like this one. It really tells you nothing. Boom. All that is a gun shooting off, folks. That tells you that they have some shares that they wanted to put on the market and it's been done. Sometimes you don't know when it's happening, but when you see the effect, it's happening. It's done. So you go back far enough, one of these is going to tell you how many shares, warrants, units, whatever it is that they're putting on the market. Outside of that, I don't see anything going on here. We've got a lot of volume coming in, which tells me I might want to go over to Twitter, see if this company, not that I think they do, but you never know, see if there is a tweet put out. Go over to Google, sometimes just an article. Don't be looking just in the news. If you can't find any news, just do a general search, but narrow it down. When you go over to Google, they'll let you choose a time period. You don't have to look at everything that's ever been on the internet. You can look at the last week, month, or year. Pick a period and see if you find anything recent. So let's check out ticker KZIA.
Okay, so is this the right one? Yeah. All right. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just double checking because what happened last time. So
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
this chart. This is, I mean, I'm not saying it's a great setup, but I mean, it's pretty predictable. And we have a floor here. It's touched it 3 times. This is a great support at about 30 cents. So it's
Right.
like 0.2986. So it's about 30 cents. It's a great support. We've hit several times here. So now we're kind of in this in between. I like to see this above 50. I saw that on the daily chart. I liked this area here because you can see it just turns from green to red, green. So we didn't
Right.
quite reach that. So I like the 50-cent area. I might have even gone back, but we're not going to go back that far. Don't worry. But I liked that area as
You
like
can take a peek. We don't mind quick peeks.
No,
No,
this is
the long charts are good to look at, like a map, but really it's the signs on the road that make you get to where
so
you need to go.
let's look at the 1 hour. So this is what's been going on. Now we did hit that like 3 times. This is nice. So this is all within
Oh,
the last month. So the 10th, the 16th, and
I
then the
like that a
19th.
lot. That's
So
making me drool.
got some great support here. Like that's
That big,
awesome.
big green bar right there, I've talked about it a lot. That to me is a token indicator that there's an 80% chance she's going to jump. When it jumps through the 200 and comes back down on the next bar, not lower than where it started, to me, that was enough to yank that 200 up flat so that she can step up onto it and get her butt moving. And now that she's come back underneath it, which is what I expect, lay on a strong support, get your footing, expect a crouch like a cat would do just before it pounces. So that chart is looking healthy to me. Definitely watch list worthy.
Yeah, it got up to looks like about a little over 48 cents in during pre-market hours or after hours market, sorry, yesterday. So that's what happened. This was
Jumping from like
pre-market today.
15 cents.
This is yeah, it went to a high of 48, a little over 48 cents in post market, like
So we had
after
like
hours.
a 300% jump.
Yeah, after hours yesterday. And so
Yeah.
this was all pre-market today. So pre-market, it came back up, to about 44 cents, down to a low of 33 cents. Now we're in like that middle area, but it does
So
have a really good support at 30. So I do like that.
you see how much activity there is, folks, in the
Lots of
aftermarket
activity when you
and
zoom in.
pre-market. And if you're not there to be able to trade, you can still take advantage of it. You can easily put your shares for sale at a much higher price, a price you think it's probably not going to hit, not just to save them from being shorted, tip, but if it does go up, you can grab it because you see how fast it comes back down. It just tags it and comes down, but this happens a lot after market hours. And there's no reason you can't put in a sale just for some, come back the next morning and say, I got money to play with. Look at this.
Yeah, this is the 5-minute chart. You can see how
Wow.
much this is. Something must have happened. That's why I don't understand. As this candle opens at 34.35 cents, we'll just say 35 cents, and went to a high of 48 cents.
Okay, I thought that was 15. Okay, so we had a 50% jump.
Yeah, that's still, I mean, in 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm used to seeing a 1 minute up and 1 minute down. Maybe somebody put in the decimal in the wrong place or something, and the sale went through.
Yeah.
But to sit there for 5 minutes, that tells you people saw it. It was worthy of sitting there. It wasn't an accident.
Yeah, we'll drop it down to the 1 minute. You can see this is pre or post market, sorry, after hours activity on Wednesday. So
And
all
she's
of these
riding that 200 nicely. For the last couple of days, she's been bouncing on it over and over. And you can see when
this is
she
a short chart. This is the 1 minute. So this is like if you were trading this. Wow, we almost hit that 50-cent mark. I like that.
Yep, definitely one to watch. I don't know what the catalyst is, but definitely
I don't
one to
either.
watch.
Yeah. I would definitely watch this if it gets in like this. I like this little area, like right around 31, between 30 and 31, 32 cents. That would be a nice like pickup area because it has nice support there. So yeah, that's a nice one. Ding.
I heard you, and I got to hit my button to actually do it. There we go. So we had a change of heart from Belmore. Belmore brought me Himalaya, and I had Himalaya all laid out. I got a bunch of it up here. And then it was like, Taylor said, we got a correction notice down here at the bottom. She wants you to look at Blumios, ticker BLMS. And it's like, we've only got a few minutes left. So I don't have anything set up here, but we're going to look at it anyways. That's how I do my DD. I don't know what I'm going to look at when I come over here. So we'll just look at it. BLMS finished today at 0045. She was up, 86% today. Hot. She is a hot pink. She's got that validated information too, so she's looking good. All right, let's just start with the first button and work our way over and see what we get. Her volume was up. She went from about 80,000 to almost 380,000. That's good. Increase in volume always helps. Liquidity. Outstanding share count, we got about 65 million roughly. About 1/3 of them are held by the insiders. We get the rest, 40 million in the float, which really isn't a bad float, folks. We get excited. We're always looking for these 6 million, 10 million, 15 million. Look, if you're under 100 million, you've got yourself a decent float. Taking a look at the financials first. Up and down from 1.3 to 8.4 to 6 million. They are taking home profit through all of this ups and downs. Quarterlies, God, this last quarter took a big drop, didn't it? They were doing over $2 million every quarter. And this one, they're doing 1/3 of that, 1/4. Yeah, 682,000, but they got to keep 50% of that. Now look at that. That's their profit margins really jump. For doing about the same amount of money, it's really all over the place. So I don't know what their formula is there. Cash and cash equivalents, they got nothing in the bank, so the management isn't getting paid. Total assets, 1.9 million. Ow. Total liabilities, 33 million. We're holding a very heavy bag here of $31.5 million. That's our debt, not the company's. Let's see. Let's look for that catalyst. What has got this thing moving? 85%. Last piece of news here is a financial in August of 2023, and we have nothing down here. Looking over at the disclosures, 8K, that was back in November. I doubt it has any relevance. Changing officers in the company. 10Q, that was a ways back. When was that? 11, 12? Well, okay, they've got everybody has a financial coming out here soon, but I can't imagine that that's got it running. I did do a search over at Twitter. Had I closed that? I did. I did go over to Twitter. Bloomios has a Twitter account. There wasn't a tweet since September of last year. You can go check if you think I'm making it up. Bloomios, Google's, Google hasn't had any news since September. There isn't anything new out there. So I could not, in the little time I looked, find anything in all the places I looked. So why it jumped 85%? Only thing left in my eyes, and I haven't looked yet, would be the technicals on the chart. I believe a hot chart will run whether it has a catalyst or not. The catalyst is just frosting on the cake. It's extra wood on the fire, but the fire is going to burn for a while without any new wood. So there's nothing more here I can tell you. As you can see, we've looked at everything and there's nothing current. But she looks good. She looks healthy, but she's running without a cause. Let's look at ticker BLMS.
So just real quick, I just want to go over the daily chart real quick.
Please.
Just look, less than a year ago, we were in between like 93 cents and $1. And I had already marked these off, by the way. We must have looked at this before, and I was looking at these lines I drew and was like, what the heck? So this was less than a year ago. So I did the math real quick. If you got in here at $1 and did nothing about it, let's say you bought $1,000 worth, you would have about $3 left at this point. It has gone down more than 99% in less than a year. That is insanity. So let me go over to this. This is the 4-hour chart, and now I've zoomed in a little bit so we can see what's been going on. These lines, I guess I had drawn these before. I didn't do these today. I'm not sure the date. This must have been an old one. I'm looking at this. It's kind of hugging this line, so this must have been something.
If we get from back to that dollar zone, I was just doing the math in my head. That's a 25,000% increase to get back to $1.
Yeah, and that's
a hell of a ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, I lost 90%. Well, you have to make, it's not like, oh, if I just gain 90%, I'll get it back. That's not how math works. No, you're right. 25,000% sounds about right.
Right. That I told somebody I was 1,000% down on a stock, and he said, that's not possible. I said, look, dude, it's at $1. I'm at 10 cents. It's going to take 1,000% to get back up. As far as I'm concerned, there I did it again. I'm 1,000% down. So, this was at $1 legitimately for quite a while.
It was. And that's why I brought that up. That was less than a year ago.
You buy $100 worth of this stock, and 3 years from now, it hits 100 or it hits $1. You just made $25,000 off of your measly $100 bill that you put on it and said, I'm just going to wait for it to get back to $1. It's possible, folks, but it takes patience. You don't have to put your house on it. You just need to time things out right.
Yeah, so this has kind of been hugging this area around like 003, 0035 ish, give or take.
You're on the 4-hour chart, so that's a few months.
Yeah, so it's been just kind of sideways, sort of, but it does have these little pops up to like 005. I mean, that's not nothing. That's pretty good. I mean, it does come right back down. This one, but I'm seeing like, this is a lower high now. So it's got potential. Look at this, how perfectly on the 1 hour we hit this.
And what's really nice there on that chart, we just tagged the 200, which is
Mhm.
just now going flat, which means the price isn't going to slip and slide off of it if it tries to get on it. So it is setting up right now. So this is a
Yeah.
real nice zone. She's close to the
Mhm.
200. The 200's flat. We've got a great ceiling, a secure one up there at a buck, 25,000%. We're not predicting that, folks. Don't get us
Yeah.
wrong. We're just saying there's a lot of room for growth here, and the chart is in the right place right now. But again, we've got a chart that could run, but has no catalyst, no cause to run. We need to find a reason, but it doesn't need a reason if it sets up nicely. And that, I got to tell you, folks, that would be one I would consider sharing with you.
Yeah, I like this one. I'm gonna actually write this down. That's
Yeah,
actually
the oscillators look good. I'm looking at them.
yeah, they're calibrated. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna actually look more into this in depth about this company so I can learn a little more. It's very interesting. The chart looks really interesting. So yeah, that's about it. Keep this
All
on your
right.
watch list. Very
I
nice.
am set.
Ding.
Bing. You didn't ding me.
You're there.
Late ding.
Oh, I
All
always
right.
tried to take my comment off first. There we go.
We are looking at INPX and Pixian. I know I've talked about this quite a lot. I don't know if we've talked about it here. Probably have. If we haven't, we should. I was in Pixian. I am already out of it. I got in it for the free dividend shares. And Pixian today finished at just over 5 cents, just under 10.5% gains. She's a penny stock on the major exchange, so you can feel a little bit safer playing this one. And they've got a lot of catalysts going on right now, and that is what's happening. We're in the waiting zone between stages. It's not like we're waiting for these to, they've already been initiated. We're in the process, so now we're waiting for things to finish. One of them is that they have a spin out going on. The company Graffiti Holdings. The company, right, they're spinning this out onto the NASDAQ. Once it gets to the NASDAQ, they are going to do a reverse merger with Damon Motors. This is an electric motorcycle company, already has products, already has $85 million worth of orders on the books. So yeah, they're going to go. I got in just for that. I got my, I was in before the cutoff date, which they call the ex-dividend date. A couple days afterwards, I sold it. I figured, well, I didn't need to stay in, but if I did, they have, I got another piece of news here. They have another merger going on, and it's happening right now at the same time, but this one is for Impixian themselves. They are merging with XTI Aircraft. That's those vertical lift aircrafts, and then they just take off like all the drones you're seeing, except this isn't a drone. It's an aircraft. It's manned. It's not unmanned, as far as I know. So we've got one spinoff with a merger that is in the midst right now. They've already closed the date on that one, so you can't qualify for those anymore. Once it's spun out, I'll get my dividend. Everyone else will get their dividend. And then the merger will happen. And I'm hoping that my dividend stocks start to run, my free shares. Woohoo! And then we've got the merger with Impixian. I don't hold them anymore, but if you get in now, you would be a part of that when they have the merger, if there's any excitement. Now, in truth, and primarily I am talking about OTC, but I see it on the major exchanges too. When a deal is announced for the very first time initially, we're going to merge with this company or that company. We're making an acquisition. That virgin news is like your first date. You're very excited about it and the stock goes crazy. Your second, third date, it was fun. It was okay. The bumps get smaller and smaller. And by the time you marry her, yeah, I know her though, and it's just blip, it's nothing. So when they close these deals, there really isn't a big run because, whoa, it's been closed now. No, normally what you see, honestly,
Oh my God.
unload. You don't like my analogy?
Oh no, I'm just looking at this chart and
But normally after a merger,
cannot help.
there is a unload. People have played the game. Now they take their money and they look for another game. You see that a lot. And the best thing is wait for the drop, all the sellers to get out, and then buyers will see, ooh, look how cheap it is now. When you see a couple green bars start to come in, that's a good time to buy your first amount, maybe 30%. If it starts climbing, buy more. If it dips, buy more. But this is how it normally goes. So we've got catalysts here. There is no reason this can't move quickly as soon as a piece of news comes out. Let's see what we've got for relative volume. She dropped about 40% from 22 million down to 60 million. Share structure for the company isn't bad. 127 million outstanding. No clue what the float is. Won't be higher than that though. Market cap 6 million. Oh, I got to remember. Financials. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. Oh, that's nice. It's been growing steadily. 6, 9, 15, 19.5 million. And they got to take 13.5, 14 million of that home. That's good. Well, they're making, see there again is a great example. The very last quarter of a year, you see this ridiculous number that doesn't make sense with all the rest. I got to figure something is being wound up, wound down during that last quarter of the year. So I don't pay a lot of heed to that one. So you can see we are between 2.5, 3 million here. And actually we're below that right now. We're just cresting over 2 million, but they're keeping most of that for profit. Balance sheet, we got 13.5 million in the bank. Nobody's not paying bills with this company. Total assets, 27.5 million. Total liabilities, 17.5 million. Positive shareholder equity, 10.1 million. So what do we got for anything new here?
Was there anything from like around the 12th of January this month?
The 12th of this month. Yes, as a matter of fact, there was a update that came out.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that. It would be a good one to consider. Well, it wants to take its time. All right. The company announced today that it is working with XTI Aircraft Company to expeditiously satisfy applicable closing conditions. The parties announced to anticipating closing date of the transaction as soon as possible. That's not a date. You can't say the date is as soon as possible. So that's the date, folks, as soon as possible. I don't know if that shows up on your calendar. The enterprise value of this deal, the company is worth 252 to 343 million. Those are assets that are going to be added on to Inpixion as soon as this deal is over. Value for shareholders. And one additional information is available here. Come on over to the news. You can check that out. In addition, in connection with the previously announced spinoff of its subsidiary Graffiti Holdings, Inpixion contributed all of the outstanding shares of its own subsidiary. Graffiti 27, looking for a date here. Don't see any date. The Graffiti Holding shares will be distributed to Inpixion participating security holders prior to the closing of the business combination. So we get our shares before the merger with Damon Motors. And the combined company will be listed on the NASDAQ subject to approval. Hate to hear that, but it's always the case. Don't see anything else here. But there's no bad news. It's just, as I was saying at the beginning, they're in progress. Everything is moving, and we don't see any problems right now. So everything is looking pretty decent.
Okay.
Was there any other news? No, that's back in 2013. Can't imagine why they keep news that old up here. The 20th, that's last month. We've got nothing there. Any new disclosures here to consider? 2014, EGADS. We got a D and an 8K. Let's check out that 8K on the 3rd. Material definitive agreement, equity distribution. Oh, equity distribution. Woohoo. Fancy word for dividend. I like that.
Okay.
So we've got some information here. I don't know what all is here. I'd have to come over here and read it. But nothing new. Everything is going just as they told us it was. We're just in the car waiting to get there. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? All right, so let's take a look at INPX.
Okay, so I'll just start with the daily here. So I was asking about this because we had a big increase of volume. It kind of, tried to bounce a little bit. Let's drop down to the 4-hour. Now we can see we've broken through and then almost hit it here. That was in October, December a couple of times. And then that was that day that I was talking about, the 12th or whatever, on that Friday. So now we're just kind of in this area. The lowest I've seen was about 4.5 cents, give or take. Now we're at 5 cents. The thing about this, though, I went back and I looked. There have been at least, maybe more, but at least 5 reverse splits on this. So let
Oh,
me
I don't.
show you just real quick for
Yeah,
fun
please.
what happens when you do. It's saying that the share was 100,130,150, and that's just right here. It's still going up. It's incorrect. It's not even in. This is the worst one I've ever seen. So I thought that you'd like that one.
I'm
100 million.
gonna pull that up later and take a picture and put it on my wall. The penny stock that went to $1 million.
Oh, 100 million.
Uh,
100 million.
See, folks, and that's what we keep telling you. As soon as you see a reverse split, if you don't see a big green bar on the day that they said the reverse split happened, everything behind that reverse split is a lie. Don't trust it. Don't believe it. The lines are the same, but all the numbers are wrong.
Right. So
God,
someone's looking
100
at this,
million.
over 100 million. That's just as far as I could scroll. I just wanted to see. There were over 5, at least 5 reverse splits that I saw. And so every time you do that reverse split, it like multiplies it more and more and more. So,
oh yeah, it starts to become exponential.
right. It's like exponential, more and more and more. It's just so when you have that many and you're dividing it up that much, it becomes, oh my gosh, it just
stupid.
That one blew my mind. I've never seen one that high before. I was laughing at 100,000. That one was 100 million. So anyway, so right now we're at about 5 cents. I'd like to see it get above that, at least get above this 200 on the 4-hour chart, preferably above 7.5 cents. So maybe we can get back up here around 11 cents. That was hit a couple times. That was like 3 or 4 months ago. It's not that far away. I mean, so, but, and this is like what I was talking about before. So let's just say, what, 4 months ago? No, 3 months ago, it was at 13 cents, and now we're at 5. So it's like more than half of your money would be gone, unless you got out of it really quick. So, and it would take 200% to get back to that, or yeah.
Right. If it drops 50%, it takes 100% to get back.
Right. So that was like from 13 to 5 cents. That's quite a bit. So, I mean, anything under the 5 cents, though, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Would they do another reverse split? They haven't had one in like a couple years or a year. I don't remember when the last one was. Oh, it was October 2022. So a year and 3 months ago, they did a 175.
And it's funny, over here at the OTC market, I don't even get a button that opens up to show me their splits. I was going to see how many for how much and all that.
Yeah, here's a 1 for 75. Then we had before that, a 1 to 45. And we had,
well, I'll tell you what,
1 to 40.
we have no idea what their authorized share count is. Right now, we've only got 127 million on the market, which means you say they haven't had a reverse split in a year.
Yeah, a year and 3 months.
To have big reverse splits, you got to be putting a lot of shares on the market. So all I can say is, since their last reverse split, unless it got down to 2 million or something, it doesn't look like they've been overstuffing the market with a lot of shares to do another reverse split. Sounds to me like they probably had 1 billion shares or more when they started reverse splitting.
Possibly.
My God.
So that's about it for that one. I mean, I don't know what the catalyst was for that, except for
what's
whatever you found.
What's that 15-minute look like on it?
15. Not too bad.
So right, she is showing some, and that's not bad. Yeah, she's come down onto the 20. I mean, when you dip, you just want to land somewhere. That's all. And when you see them bouncing 2, 3, 4 times on the same SMA, that's landing. That's their home. So that looks like she's getting ready to think about her next move. And with that 50-day SMA crossing the 200, we could see something.
Yeah, I mean, pre-market, it didn't really, had a little bit of activity, and then it just popped. I mean, this was a nice one. And then came back down, settled down, and popped again. So
yeah,
I mean,
went sideways, waiting for that. She got too far away from her 9-day, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had to come back and wait for the 9. So that shows how light she is. She's not wrestling with the 50. She's wrestling with the 9 and the 20. So that to me is a good telltale sign. She's already broke out. The 200 is curving up right now. She's one to watch. The chart is in a great place, but again, we're not getting a lot of fresh catalysts, but we've got catalysts. We're just in the waiting mode again, waiting for these things to happen. And actually, now would be a good time. We know these two catalysts are going to happen. We know it either way. So I think she's going to break out myself. I think when all these things start, what was it, 286 million assets for the XTI Corporation is going to be added onto Inpixian. That's going to be a big deal. So she is definitely worthy of watching. I'm still watching her, even though I'm out of her. I like the company. I like what's going on with her right now.
Okay.
I see we're a little bit after 5, but I tell you what, I started this whole show saying that I wasn't going to be able to get to RIOFF, didn't I? Well, I'm going to squeeze it in for you, buddy. We've gotten through quite a few of them here. We don't need to look at Himalaya. That's okay. All right. Haven't had any pre-due diligence on this, so you're going to look at it with me first time. This is Rio FFF, Rio 2 Limited. From what I gather, this is a gold mining company. Could be more to it. Today, she finished just a little over 25 cents and just about 2% gains. Nice to see a mining company on the best tier of the OTC, the QX. This is as close as you get to the major exchange. I don't mean tier-wise. I mean information-wise. I mean risk-wise. They give us as much information as you're going to get on the major exchanges. Audited financials, 8Ks, 6Ks, the full boat. So that's one reason to trade QXs. They are the most transparent, the most trustworthy. We've got every green tick in the book over here you could look for. The one that I like to look at the best is penny stock exempt. This is not a penny stock. It may be on the OTC, it may be 25 cents, but it is not considered a penny stock because they've proven themselves not to be risky. There's no reason to have the stigma of being a penny stock because you're on the OTC if you are surging in responsibility. They have had business for 3 to 5 years, millions of dollars in assets or revenues, and they've kept up with their financials. They've already proven themselves to be trusted. Great tier to be on. So what can we learn about this company? Well, let's just start with the first button and work over so I don't miss anything. What? Volume took a big drop, or it just came back on the market or something. It dropped from, it was 217,000 average for the last 30 days. Today it says she sold 109 shares. Not 109,000, 109 shares. So I don't know if she just came on the market or, the fact of the matter is, there are lots of these 12,300 stocks on the OTC that don't see one share sold a day. There are many of them. I got 130 stocks, and there have got to be at least 40 of them every day that get no volume, no sales. They're just locked in the middle. Green at the top, red at the bottom, and this big black section in the middle all the time. Share structure for the company. 260 million outstanding. That's not too old. That's 227 million. That's probably it. We got a lot of shares in the float, pretty much most of the outstanding. Market cap, 64, 65 million. Financials for Rio. Nothing on the annual. Darn it. Nothing on the quarterlies either. How about their balance sheet? Well, they got money in the bank, $5.4 million. Ooh, they got a lot of assets too. 110 million virtually, and only 34 million in liabilities. This company's strong for an OTC stock. We got 75 million stockholder equity. This is the number I am telling you. You take the outstanding share count and divide it into that number, and that'll tell you what each share is worth based on the actual equity that they say as stockholders. It's how I get an average price. Let's see now. What about our catalysts? What do we got going on here? All right, most recent piece of news. See if we have anything down here. I think this is it. Rio 2 Limited issues shares in lieu of salaries. All that money in the bank, and they're taking shares instead of salary. Now, there's a lot of reasons that can happen. One of the reasons is the stock's going to move and you want as many shares as you want. And rather than buy them, just take them as pay, right? So that could be a reason. I'm only guessing here, thinking out loud. Rio 2 secures environmental approval for Phoenix Gold project. Approvals are good. We don't have any details here, but approval is good. That means they're moving forward. And this one, that's back in December as well. Phoenix Gold, EIA administrative appeal to be heard. Don't know if this have anything to do with the approval. They were heard and got approved. Not sure. We need to jump in there and get some more information. See what we have in our filings. We've got nothing since 2018. And then we just have our financials. So everything looks good over here. I don't see anything bad. We should do some more research since there's just not enough information here. And obviously, folks, the best place to do that information is jumping into one of their quarterly reports. Now, this is a QX. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised, actually, that I'm not seeing 10Ks and 10Qs listed over here. I don't know. Is this okay, it's a Canadian company. There's a different way to report their financials, which is why we're not seeing a 10K or 10Q. But my point is, we didn't have much information. The most recent quarterly report right there will tell you everything that's going on, not just in the last quarter, from when they came into business. They got to repeat that stuff in every single financial and then add on what's ever had it on here. And a bonus, most people don't know, scroll all the way down to the bottom. In a lot of cases, they put what's called subsequent events, things that have happened in the last 30 to 45 days after the quarter, but before they got the financials out. Something could have happened in there, a bald spot, and they'll tell you right there. Sometimes I find some juicy information in there. All right, let's go take a look at Rio FF.
Okay, so this is really interesting. Now, these lines were already drawn, so were these shaded areas. We looked at this exactly 5 weeks ago on December 21st. And the reason these were drawn, now I did drop it down to the regular candles, is because I'm sure I said this because I love saying it all the time about the gaps. Is this gapped up for whatever reason that time? And I said, I bet it's going to come back down and fill this gap. And that is exactly what happened. You can see exactly that's what happened. So all right.
That right now is a perfect buying place.
Yeah, it looks good, but the only thing I don't like is the shape of these candles. These are kind of ugly. That's kind of a little concerning, but not terrible because we are still in this area. So, it did fall below it and then opened. It closed below it, opened below it, but then the next day, we're back here.
It's kind of funny to hear, isn't it? Taylor say, I don't like the shape of the candles, not the chart, not the lines, each particular candle.
Well, it's a daily candle, so
right. But I'm saying there's information in candles that most of us don't pay heed to. And it doesn't take a lot of effort to learn what the candles represent.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the best traders I know only work with 5 to 3 candles at a time on the chart. They're looking for the candles to talk to each other and do what they do. And they say, well, this happens 9 out of 10 times when these candles collaborate. And I have been amazed. It's been like somebody playing pool who's a hustler and can put the cue ball exactly where he wants after he hits a ball. And it's like, how did you do that?
So it would be like these. So it's basically like a short body with a really tall like top on it, not a tail on the bottom.
A lot of rejection on the
like
top.
This one is more of bullish. Yeah, this is more of like a bearish looking candle. I mean, yes, it came up, but I don't like that we came up and then closed low again. I mean, this one opened here, went up, and then closed even below the opening price. So I don't like the look of that one either.
And here's something again. I'm not trying to teach everybody who knows this stuff, but you'd be amazed how many people don't know this. The green bar opens on the bottom and closes on the top. You read the top for the end. The red bar, you're reading the bottom of the bar, not the top. It closes at the bottom. It is the opposite. And a lot of people read the top of the red bar thinking that's the price. No, it's the bottom of the red bar is where the price is at, not the top.
Right. So this one
I didn't know that for years.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. Like some people just they don't know it. I mean, there was a time I didn't know that. It's all right. So anyway, I had this other area shaded up here, and I'm guessing it was from something. Yeah, there was a gap here too, if you look at regular candles, but that was from about a year and a half ago.
You're
So
right in the middle of that surge right now, then, right
yeah,
dead center. Yeah. So if she can push up above this, the likelihood of getting to that topper grade out area is really strong.
yeah, I like this top grayed out area. This was another gap that we needed to fill, so I just put another line there to make it easier to see. But we did fill this one, so it's like, okay, we can move on from that. Now we can fill this one, and we're not
Uh-huh.
that far. So I like this, and it played out exactly what I thought it would do, because it filled that gap, and then now it's maybe trying to climb back up. So keep an eye on this one. I like
Yes.
that. Did
Yeah,
exactly
we've got a lot of
what we
stocks
expected.
watch worthy today. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of them.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
great. Well, we are at 520. And of course, I didn't get to all the stocks, but John Rodriguez, I got to you, buddy, right? All right. At least I feel good about that. The rest of you came in. I know that's not fair. Oh, Sticky Man. Hello, Sticky Stussy. Stickman Stussy. God, these names are rough. You came in 1 minute after 4. Thank God you didn't ask for anything, because anybody who came in at 4 o'clock, I'm sorry, folks. I couldn't get to any of your tickers. GLYC from Gotti. We'll take a look at. I tell you, me and Taylor, we do check out these stocks. We
Oh
talk
yeah.
for about an hour after the show. Look at all the messages. Ilis, thank you. You're welcome, Edward. We appreciate you being here, buddy. Edward Vega, you just Pastel, CITI Group, please. Oh man, way down the list. We couldn't get the city. I know it's not a penny stock. Yeah, that was the other reason. What stock you talking about? But it has the worst quarter in the last 15 years. Ouch. That sounds bad. Toner, Danny Whiter, thank you. Jimmy Jean Baptist, IGPK. Boy, hasn't she been hot here? Integrated cannabis. Didn't I just cover that one? No, I put it in my hot chart list in my video yesterday. I gave you 4 hot charts. I didn't do any research on. eBets was another one. Wow, that took off again today just because of the chart. I had no news on it. And this is what Taylor and I are showing you, that the chart really does have precedence because people read the charts. They don't always read the news, but they are reading the charts. And the people with real money, they know how to read those charts. And when you see the volume come in and it starts moving up, regardless of what the news is, that is a play, folks. Bad news, good news. We've been seeing a lot of stocks with good news fall and stocks with bad news climb. If you're just following the news, you're probably losing more than a dime. Taylor, you got anything you want to say to our good people?
I don't. Just really appreciate y'all being here, and I enjoy it every week.
We do appreciate y'all being here. We love that. I love it. It's sweet. Thank you, folks. We appreciate you hanging here, whether we're here to 5 or 5:20. Hopefully, we got to your stock. If we didn't, all of you, Joseph Cuz, 22, coming in late is good enough. Michael Anthony, PED. Sorry, buddy. We love all of you. We love all your stocks. As I said in all my videos, if you do want your stocks looked at, folks, I put up a placeholder for this video around 12 o'clock. You can drop your tickers in then, and you're going to get more bang for your dollar. That gives me more time to go through it, and I actually have things set up. And I can find things sometimes that we can't do in a hurry. On that note, we will see you next week, Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Same. You going to be here next week, Taylor?
Yep, I'll be here next week. It
Right.
will be the 15th of February. I will not be here.
Right. So next week, we got the same co-host and the same beard, but new
Yeah.
information. See you then, folks.
Bye.
Bye.